All right, Kyle Mohan Racing. I took a trip with Top1 Oil, Jeff Jones, and George. Right here, we're starting off. You can see Jeff stuck in customs, the group of us meeting up at LAX, and obviously, we're drifters. We're getting ready for a 14-hour flight. Had to have a drink, hopped on the plane. Ended up with some nice seats, but LAX to Hong Kong, you're still basically camping on the plane. We arrived, a little beat up, a little tired, a little jet lagged. Got all of our gear. We weren't staying in Hong Kong, it was just a quick layover. We got some food, a little bit of ramen, some dumplings, and we're back on the move. Hong Kong's beautiful, but we couldn't stay. We were on our way to Sanya, China, which is in southern China, a little island. Meeting up with Top1 to do some brand ambassador work, talk oil, and hang out with a bunch of their distributors over in China. Hopped a van, started absorbing some of the local sites, and made our way across the island. You can see the diversity, very beautiful, still a lot of rural, but also a lot of resort. The resort we were staying at, massive, and you can see stuff being built all around. When we arrived, we were absolutely warmly greeted. It was a Hawaiian style welcome. Jeff, George, all the Top1 guys, we got shown to our rooms. Beautiful view, nice room. If you haven't been over to China, there's a lot of very nice westernized setups going on. As soon as we had the opportunity, we started walking around. We knew we had corporate meetings, we had important business to do, but we wanted to check the place out. So a little time lapse of us walking it down to the beach, gorgeous path. And even to my surprise here, this was a gorgeous beach. Blue water, blue skies, it was tropical, so we were like, excellent. Put on our gear, some trunks, and hit the water. And if you look in the right-hand lower corner, you can already see the one dude who's not happy with us in the water. He's gonna come back and start to tell other people about his unhappiness. And I guess we ignored some signs that we couldn't really read anyways, but they did have pictures on them, and as it turns out, there was no swimming, there was currents, there was some Americans getting in trouble right here. You see George is already out, he's laughing, trying to play it off like we didn't know. And then you can see the Americans up here in the foreground, they're like, we don't know those guys. We're celebrating in the background as we reappear into the picture. Hey, when you're in China and you're at a beach, I don't know. I'm from California. I'm definitely going to get the toes in the water and take a little swim, try to catch a wave. It was gorgeous. We survived, and we safely made it off the beach. Gathered up our gear, decided we would check out the resort's pool, where we were quickly greeted, met up with the Top1 guys and some of the locals. It wasn't long, we had to make our way to dinner. There was a little bit of a buffet going on. Amazing food in China. Not the Chinese food you have in the US. I love the fruit over there, great tropical, star fruit, dragon fruit. And just like that, what was actually a couple days of travel comes out to be really just one day. And there we have the sunrise the next morning before we went to our full-on, full-day Top1 banquet, the reason we were actually over in China. Amazing setup from Top1. They're a great oil company. They're California-based. They're an American oil, but a lot of their distribution is international. So we were taken over as American drivers, professional drifters. That's what our area is, and we talked about our experience with the oil, the cars we use it in, and I was able to capture some of my cars footage up on the big screen. Gotta love that. And this was in front of over 300 people, all distributors, one giant Top1 family. We got some introductions. There was a mini-me I mean, come on. I really wanted to bring the Mini-Me home. That guy was stoked. I had to do the same thing. Made sure to get some photos with myself. You know, if you can't make fun of yourself, then what's life about? So, amazing display. Top1 sets records all around the world. They're very into top speed salt flat racing, high speed stuff. They've got trucks, motorcycles. They're active in rally, Paris-Dakar. If you actually start to look into it, they're a very involved motorsports oil company that I think a lot of people in the US aren't even really familiar with. I've been running the oil for about 4 years now, and I build my own motors, so obviously I'm looking at what's going on in there, and I'm very happy with it. Here we're hanging out. I tried to take out Jeff. He's giving me a hard time, but you know, we had a little bit of downtime in the afternoon, caught a little bit of the sunset, and before the evening portion of the banquet got started, we had to do a little pre-planning American style. We needed a base, because if you've ever been to a Chinese business dinner, part of that business is the drinking. So we suited up, we got ready, we knew we were going to be introduced, and we got ready with a little bit of a pizza base for a fantastic evening. Super warm welcome. A lot of other professional drivers from around the world were there from Top1, and you can see everybody had their chance on the stage. A lot of fun, a lot of good times. Even the Top1 family right there, before we got down to celebration, doing a little words and introduction. There's the stuff right there. That white bottle, you got to watch out for that. It's called Baijiu. Yeah. It changes the whole mood. You can see everybody has gone from active to now we're just eating and talking business. Not long after, the business turns to party. Baijiu is very close to race gas. I'm pretty sure my ethanol burning 1,000 horsepower race car would run no problem on that moonshine right there. Make sure to pick some of that up. Baijiu, it's cheap, it's fun, and I would say it's the equivalent to kind of the tequila or the whiskey or even maybe the vodka, depending on where you're around the world. Just a very clear, very clean alcohol. All right, so the party wrapped up with Top1, but Top1 kept the party going. We took off with some of their distributors, some of the drifters, and we made our way to a California hard rock bar in Sanya, China. These guys were awesome. They were jamming some great tunes. We made it out of there, walked down the street, and before you knew it, we stumbled our way into a full-on massive Chinese-style nightclub. And the closest thing I can say is this is your Florida or Vegas or New York-style nightclub. It's all night long. Crazy music, great food, great drinks, wild atmosphere, the light show, the music. It's non-stop. I think they give anything the U.S. has going on in nightlife a run for the money. So, all joking aside, we partied our way around this club, met a bunch of locals. I think that's a drifter dancing up on the stage right there next to the girls. We're pretty much the only Americans in the place, so nobody spoke English, and as we wrapped it up, man, what do you do at the end of the night? Well, you got to get some local street food. So some of the locals took us outside, introduced us to the local cuisine, which I didn't catch the whole video, but I kind of think of this thing as a sausage burrito with all kinds of fillings. I don't catch the burrito part, but basically he turns that sausage into this wild burrito thing. Night's not over. Many decisions were made to lead to this, but we ended up on a tuk-tuk, hauling it through the streets of China, and my phone died, but we ended up finishing the night out on a beach, just walking with some beers. The next morning, we packed it up, got ourselves going, and had to travel across the resort to get to our van to get out of there on time so we could actually catch our flight back to Hong Kong. We weren't done yet. We actually had more distributors over in Hong Kong to go meet with Top1 to talk a little business and talk about our professional racing experience with the oil. So here's a little tour around. It's an amazing resort. If you have a chance to visit Sanya Island, It's definitely a beautiful place, tropical feel. I would consider it kind of the Hawaii for China. If you're familiar with the movie The Meg, which is that shark movie, I think that was filmed or at least talked about being off of this area. Awesome tropical gardens. They've got an obstacle course. They had a small little zoo with some birds and animals. I mean, we're still just cruising through their property, and I sped this footage up. So this golf cart isn't actually that fast. It's not a race cart. We made our way to the front of the hotel. Again, instantly welcomed, even though we've been staying there, and we threw all of our gear into the vans and got out of there. And we arrived at night, so as we were leaving, we realized this was a massive resort community, really beautiful stuff all around, tropical. So we hit one of the produce little stands on the way out. Great fruit, great food. We grabbed some mangoes, some drinks. I mean, obviously we needed some substance. We needed some help in the morning. We hopped back in the van, took off towards the airport. Arriving pretty much just on time. Got ourselves out to the airplane, made it through customs, and got on that Hong Kong Airlines, took off to our next destination. And you can see just looking out the window here, I mean, great agriculture, nice rolling hills, very green. An amazing part of the trip. I've never done anything over in southern China quite like that. And we were all pretty amped up. We were happy. It was a good top one first half. And so we made our way into Hong Kong. They let us in, and we started the back end of our adventure. We only had really a day in Hong Kong. It was one evening, night, and morning. Beautiful area, a little more mountainous. It was a little cooler, a little more humid, and they've got cool cars. They're amazing van culture over there, things we don't have in the U.S. Everything in Hong Kong's right-hand drive. Everything in China was left-hand drive, so just a little byproduct of Hong Kong being under, I think, British rule. Anybody has the knowledge on that, let me know, but I think that's correct. You can see, again, beautiful sunsets, beautiful skies, very built on the ocean. A lot of the bay is being used, some great seafood. So we made it to our hotel. We ended up not being this high up, but we snuck our way up to the top floor, catch a little panoramic view. But it was a great hotel, great room, across the street, 7-Eleven. This is a legit 7-Eleven. Just, we couldn't read anything, but we knew what everything was. We met some distributors, took off. After we got done with our dinners and the basic stuff, we hit a little bit of the street scene and eventually made our way to the Hong Kong Bay, where I captured this time lapse of what is actually the buildings all along the bay doing this crazy light show to music, and they pump the music through all the hotels. This is like having Los Angeles put on a light show that's choreographed through all the different buildings. It's pretty epic. This was a long show, so I sped it up. Definitely look into that if you're over there. It was well worth it. After we saw the light show, we grabbed some drinks. Well, we already had some drinks. And we got down to the street market. If you've never done a street market, you got to do it. Amazing, just clothes, gifts, cool stuff. We were over there before Christmas, so me and Jeff, I don't even know what we're talking about here. That's why I muted it. You don't need to hear that, but we were shopping for our families, obviously. Obviously, that's what we were doing. We were looking for cool gifts, shopping for family. As we made our way through, as obviously an easy way to get lost in Hong Kong, which we all pretty much did at some point. Luckily, our phones worked. And I even found, hey, my people, a Mazda RX-8 out there on the streets. He had no idea why I was waving to him, but he waved back. Our last stop was LFK. This is supposed to be like the hot spot for Hong Kong nightlife, kind of got revamped. It was kind of wild. tons of bars, restaurants, crazy spots right there on the street. And this street is steep. You can't tell, but you have too many drinks, you're falling down that hill. So we made our way down the hill to some food, ordered up some local cuisine, because I mean, that's what you gotta do. When in Hong Kong, you eat Hong Kong. And we stayed up pretty much all night till it was the next morning. Me and Jeff ended up finding a little bit of a rooftop park. This is our last day of the trip. I'm up on a rooftop. We have this beautiful little garden. Jeff and I are just walking around, taking in the sights. Got my orange energy drink. It's been an awesome trip. Top One definitely has some great family around the world. Hong Kong. We wanted to see the bay again from where we had seen that light show. We wanted to see what it was like during the day, so our last stop before we got out of Hong Kong, Top One, big group, we all went down to basically stand on the bay, get that feeling, see what it was all about, and it's amazing. It's hard to put into words. The size, the scale, you know, and then thinking about the light show and how it was all put together. It's a beautiful place. Would definitely like to travel back and have more time there. But I wanted to show everybody not only what we were doing over there, which was having a good time with Top One, meeting their distributors, but in the little bit of downtime we had, we definitely made the best of it. Packed as much in as we could and saw whatever local sights, sounds, scenery that was possible. I'm not going to travel halfway around the world and not absorb some culture. It's massive. Just sprawling city from side to side. As far as you can really see. Beautiful waterfront. Happened to capture this Chinese junk boat coming up, but it wasn't so junky. It looked like a little bit of a tour. Because the junk boats have a certain style, you know, joke. And then just like that, we were on this ride back to the airport. Some amazing scenery that didn't really catch on the way in. Jeff Jones stuck in customs again, that's his thing. Back on the plane. Thank you so much for watching. Kyle Mohan Racing, Top1 Oil. This is a little behind the scenes KMR road trip. Stay tuned, follow. We're always out having a good time.